Gadsden City Council will now come to order, and the chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilman Harris.
Here.
Williams. Here. Avery.
Here.
Eccles.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present. The meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask one of our youth and government students to come forward and lead the invocation, Mario Jackson. If you'll please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Could we all bow our heads? Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for what you've done for us. Lord, we ask you to give this council the serenity to do what is proper and necessary. And Lord, we ask you to let them have a peaceful council meeting. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Education and Recreation Committee meetings,
So
work
moved.
session, and council meeting on April the 17th.
I still move. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
Chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of the accounts for the week of April the 13th through the 19th.
So moved.
Second. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamations, Mayor.
The first one I have is Matthew Schroeder here? Yeah. Okay. I have a proclamation here. Whereas motorcycles are increasingly used as a regular means of transportation, the motorcycle is an energy-efficient vehicle that reduces fuel consumption, traffic, and parking congestion. The motorcycle is also an important form of transportation by commuting, touring, and recreation. As a matter of safety, it is necessary to develop appropriate driving habits to handle these vehicles on roadways. Over the past 10 years, the motorcycle fatalities have increased 150%, as reported in the United States Department of Transportation's Fatality Analysis Report. To prevent injuries and deaths on the roadways, motorcyclists and motorists must be vigilant in their efforts to share the road and ensure the safety of everyone. Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month raises public awareness for a lifetime of safe motorcycle riding. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Sherman Guyton, the Mayor of the City of Gadsden, do hereby proclaim May as Motorcycle Awareness Month in the City of Gadsden and ask everyone to abide and drive safely. This is you're the State Director of the Dixie Abate Chapter of Alabama, is that right? Would you like to say a few words? All right.
I'd like to thank the mayor and the city of Gadsden for proclaiming this as our second year we've had this proclamation, and I'd just like to thank you.
There's not anyone here to accept this, but I was asked to read it. Whereas alienating behaviors are often found in high-conflict divorce and custody situations, speaking negatively about a parent or two in front of a child, interfering with communication and visitation, and discussing inappropriate information with a child, such as details of separation, court proceedings, financial matters, are behaviors that can not only destroy the bond between a loving parent and a child, but can cause a child mental and emotional harm. Parental alienation takes advantage of the impressionable and dependent nature of children. Parental alienation deprives children of their right to love and be loved by both parents. Parental alienation is considered harmful to children, as alienation tactics are confusing, frightening, and rob children of their sense of security. Professionals agree that the problem of parental alienation is damaging to children and can affect them into adulthood with tragic consequences. There are more than 2.4 million divorced North Americans, and in 2010, there were more than 21,000 divorced Alabamians, including the parents of more than 1 million children under the age of 18. With nearly as many unmarried couples in 2010, there were more than 25,000 unwed births with children separating. With awareness comes education and understanding and the power to stop the abuse of innocent children caught in the crossfire of the people they love. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. Love does no harm to its neighbor, therefore love is the fulfillment of law. This year organizers are doing something special by asking everyone to take 10 minutes out of their day at noon on April 25th, anywhere in the state, and blow soap bubbles representing love. Therefore, I, Sherman Guyton, Mayor of the City of Gadsden, do hereby proclaim April 22nd through 28th as Parental Alienation Prevention Week in the City of Gadsden. Could I go ahead and announce about cleanup while I'm up here? I want to make sure everybody hears me. Saturday is our annual cleanup day. We'll be meeting here at City Hall. We'll have several volunteer groups that are going to be volunteering, and we're asking all the neighborhood watch groups to get together and clean up their neighborhoods. If you don't belong to a neighborhood watch group, and there's several of you in a couple of blocks, get together. We have trash bags. You can contact Public Works and get free trash bags. And we'll have the competition again with the elementary schools, the school that brings the most trash, not garbage. To school, we have the trucks that will be located there at the rec centers at the different schools. We'll have one at Carver Community Center, East Gadsden Community Center, Elliott Community Center, Jack Gadsden Coliseum on Megan, the Mitchell Community Center, Mort Glosser Amphitheater, Raymond Hill Community Center, the Senior Activity Center, and Walnut Park Community Center. And, you know, we've really done a lot of cleanup in the last few years, but we never do have a lot of volunteers. We have a lot of conversation sometimes, but when it gets time to show up, we don't have a lot of people show up. And if you don't come down here to volunteer and be assigned somewhere, you can still get some friends and neighbors or relatives in your neighborhood or different groups to work on a couple of blocks in your neighborhood. But let's try to have a big cleanup day this Saturday. Maybe the weather will be cooperating, and it'll help us keep the city clean. Thanks.
Unfinished business. A is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property located at 424 North 24th Street in District 6. This nuisance has been abated by the owner and no further action is necessary. 9 is a resolution awarding bid number 3203 for small tools and equipment. The NEAPA, that's the Purchasing Northeast Alabama Coordinator, has recommended awarding the bid to Alabama Contractors and Equipment Company in the amount of $20,045.02. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? This,
You know, we get copies of these bids, and
yeah, this
I
is,
noticed that several people did not include a bid bond. Do we know why the discrepancy there? Half of them did, half of them didn't. Is it clear that they need to include one, or what? Somebody can help us with that, purchasing, or? Greg just left. Well, not only Greg, but city clerk, do they have an excuse as to why they don't have bid bonds, or do they miss it, or what?
They apparently just miss it because if a bid bond is required, it is stated in the bid documents.
And it's clear. I just wonder why people would turn one in and not have a bid bond when it's very clear in there that you have to have one. Half of them did, half of them didn't, so I thought maybe they missed something. Okay. All right.
this is for a mower, is what it's for.
Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering why half of them turned in bonds and half didn't. Unless they didn't know, they should have known, so somebody should have anyway. Okay.
Is there any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
New business, is there any?
Yes, Mr. President, I have a couple items to bring up under new business. The first of which is a resolution authorizing agreement between the City of Gadsden and ALDOT. Ask that we consider this today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir. Mr. President, this is essentially the cooperative transfer of ownership from the city to, from ALDOT to the city of the existing 2-mile 411 corridor beginning on or near Tidmore Bend Road. And this is in conjunction with the bypass construction activity that's taking place there in North Gadsden.
Any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Got another one?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, have an ordinance here, sorry, having these out of order, bear with me here.
Resolution.
Probably the waterworks, is that what you got?
No,
Dave?
this is the ordinance amending the budget, but I'm missing the
Resolution.
resolution. Yeah.
I thought this was
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So we have a resolution authorizing acceptance of grant funds in the amount of $20,000 from the Etowah County Community Development Board to be moved for improvements at Hughley Park. Make a motion that we consider that today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today under new business, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, this is a $20,000 grant. It's earmarked for improvements to Hughley Park in East Gadsden.
Is there any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
And the next one is the ordinance amending the budget to account for this $20,000 grant. Ask that we consider that today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just for the young people in the audience today, anytime we receive monies into the city, we have to amend our budget. So there's generally a resolution capturing those monies and then an ordinance amending the budget to receive those monies.
This is from the 1-cent county tax that was put on years ago, and if you remember, that was the tax that was supposed to have gone off in a few years. Like all taxes, it never goes away. It's still there.
It's not quite right. Hopefully one day if we have to put one on to go off, it'll go off.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
And I have one final item. It's a resolution appointing a member to the Waterworks and Sewer Board. Make a motion that we consider this today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. This is kind of bittersweet for me. The individual that's being replaced is a well-regarded individual. Ms. Patey served the board for about 2.5 terms, I think. And so this is an opportunity for us to assign a new individual to the Waterworks and Sewer Board. This individual's name is Harold Kimball, and I think, Ms. Patey served us well in the past, and Mr. Kimball will serve us well going forward, so.
Is there any other discussion? Clerk, will you take?
We all have a appointment on the water board. There's 7 of us, and all of us have an appointment. So this is Devereux choice, and we certainly support his decision.
I think for the benefit of the students too, we talked about, particularly the council students, we talked about that to them earlier. The city of Gadsden back in the heydays, back in the old days, as they say, had a mayor and 2 commissioners. Most of our committees were made up of 5 individuals, and those 3 people appointed those 5 individuals. When we went to the mayor-council form of government in 1986, the council took the position that we wanted to expand all the boards that we had control over to 7 members, giving each council person an opportunity to appoint someone to those boards, thus diversifying those boards even more. Because prior to 1986, like I said, we had a mayor and 2 commissioners, and at one time, in several terms, the commissioners lived within a block or 2 of each other. So quite naturally, all their friends who lived around in their neighborhood was appointed to all the boards primarily. And so now we've got a diverse board, comes from across the town, across the entire city. So that's why we have multiples of 7s on all the boards that we have an opportunity to appoint. Just a little history.
Is there any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any other new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have a couple of items I would like to ask for unanimous consent to consider today. The first one is a resolution authorizing agreement with the YMCA for the conducting business at the 6th Street Pool.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, this gives the city this gives YMCA complete authority to manage the 6th Street swimming pool, seeing as how the liability I stated that they have coverage of liability and the cost for having proper lifeguards in place, and we're just extending that task to the YMCA and paying them for it.
Any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The other item I have, Mr. President, is a resolution authorizing participation in the senior nutrition program and the grant for fiscal year 2012 in the amount of $104,372. Ask for unanimous consideration.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
This is the senior nutrition program that's held at the 2 recreation centers in Gadsden. One's Carver and the other one's Elliott Community Center. And it's primarily for nutritional meals for our seniors. And it's a year-round program.
Any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Any other new business? Robert?
Okay, I think that's it. Okay.
You got one.
Yeah, I have 2, Mr. President. I'd ask for unanimous consent to consider both of them at this time, and we'll act on them separately. One is approving the issuance of a special events alcohol license, and the other one is a resolution authorizing agreement with Creative Benefit Solutions. So I'd ask for unanimous consent for both.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider both resolutions today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
The first one is approving issuance of a special event alcohol beverage license for the fish market. I'd ask for passage.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, we do special event alcohol beverage license, and it's basically what it says is for a special event. This is the crawfish boil that they have every year, and the event is from 12 p.m. to 12 midnight on Saturday, May the 12th. And they set up out in the area out there, and I guess, for lack of a better word, just out by the rivers and all that stuff. But anyway, it's a big event, so every year they get a special event to do special license in order to serve beer and the whole 9 yards out of that area.
Any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Okay, the next one is a resolution authorizing agreement with Creative Benefit Solutions. I'd ask for passage.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. President, at this time, I'm going to call on Mr. Shane Ellison. Will you be, yes, sir, if you don't mind. This is dealing with our package that we offer the city employees, a retirement package, and we'll let Shane explain why we got to do this one.
Yes, sir. Several months ago, when we entered into the initial contract with Creative Benefit Solution, that contract only covered basically them looking at our employment and analyzing all the numbers and coming back to us with a recommendation. As you all know, we decided to go ahead with the Voluntary Retirement Incentive Program, or more commonly known as the buyout, and you budgeted that at $1 million. Well, this agreement is basically a continuation of Part A. This allows Creative Benefits to implement the program, to look at all the employees that have signed up and assess how much money they will get and provide basically a buyout package for the employee, at which point then they will meet with all those employees and talk about how much they would receive in compensation. Also, as you know, we made a change in the health care for Medicare eligible retirees, and this would also cover their work on that part of the project. We'll be meeting with those employees hopefully the end of next week. We're going to be sending a letter out on that so all the retirees can come in and we can explain what the changes were, because we know there's been a lot of confusion and concern on the part of the retirees, and we want to make sure that each one of those get the individual attention that they need so that they'll understand what we've done.
Okay. And I'm glad you, okay. I just want to make it clear that I know he's gotten calls or requests or talk, and I have too, and I'm pretty sure other council members, that the city employees are doing this. It's not. This is an independent company that's going through this process and come up with these numbers and evaluating everything. So it's not being conducted by the mayor's office nor the council group or anyone like that. It's an independent agency. So I just want everybody to understand that, because I've heard a lot of stuff about one or two city employees getting together and putting this project together, and they're responsible for everything. And as chairman of the finance committee, I got tagged as the guy who was behind all of it too. So I wish I was that brilliant.
It's a voluntary.
Well, I know it's a volunteer program, but if I had sense enough to do all that, I'd be out like this guy, going to other cities and making the money. But anyway, just wanted to make sure they understand.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Clerk?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any other new business? Department reports, committees, boards, are there any? Remarks by the mayor and the council. Ben, you want to start?
Sure. First of all, I want to thank everybody for their participation in the Gadsden County Patriots Association golf tournament yesterday. We sent everybody off with a good hot breakfast and brought them all in freezing to death after about 18 holes. Stuart hadn't gotten over it yet. So,
I'm still
you know,
shaking.
so-
It's wind like it blew me away.
It did. That wind was blowing. I do want to say, Rick Vaughn, our chairman, it happens to be in the audience, so welcome this morning, Rick. Job well done now. We raised some good money for some good benefits for our veterans, and we're looking forward to handling that situation. I don't know whether I can do this or not, but I'm going to thank Jack's Restaurants, Fine Dining,
Fine dining.
for 160 biscuits. And I want to thank Dean's Sausage for 200 pre-cooked sausage patties that we all enjoyed. And the Mountaintop Flea Market, and everybody knows Janie Terrell. Janie brought us gravy and orange juice and what else, Rick? Eggs. Well, we bought the eggs. Now, we had some participation in it. But anyway, y'all, from our heart to y'all's, thank you, and it went over really well. And we're going to spend the money frugally and for well causes. Appreciate it, we really do.
May I add something to that?
Very shortly. It's almost
I'll be
lunch.
very short. I expect about loud system. I'd like to say this, I just left the pro shop and spoke with David Wright, and he said based on the records from, since we've been having this with the city of Gadsden at the golf course, one yesterday was the largest one we've ever had.
Good. That's great.
And it appears that we're going to be better off from this tournament financially than all those in the past. And it is thanks to people like you, elected officials, and not just Gadsden, but from other municipalities, and the merchants in the city of Gadsden, because the golfers commented that we had door prizes, something which most golf tournaments don't have. You don't have to buy a chance for it. You just sign up and register, and then after the golf tournament, you go back in, and we were able to see that almost 40% of the golfers that participated in this golf tournament got a door prize. And that's very unusual in a lot of golf tournaments. You have to buy to get a prize. But the comments were favorable, we're looking forward to one next year. And sorry you didn't get to make it, Mayor. Looking forward to you being out there.
I was too, but I'm afraid to win might have hurt my game.
Yeah.
If you played with a golf ball, it would have.
Believe it or not, the wind helped.
Yes, sir.
Australian golf.
Absolutely.
That's what I like to see, the whole
It helped
course.
this game.
I like to see the course in the woods when I play it.
Well, they
Jenny.
know some of the prettiest poison oak up there you ever seen.
Well, Jenny didn't win anything, and she was rather adamant about that. Billy won a guitar last year. He didn't win anything this year. He was adamant. Bill Stewart could have cared less, so we balanced off. No. Deverick, I saw Deverick out there slamming, banging around. Yeah, we had a real good time.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate you letting everybody.
The banging and the slamming. But I saw you eating, so that was all right. Okay. We appreciate y'all.
Mayor?
I'd just like to say, how many seniors we have here today? Hold your hand.
All of
That's what I thought. Okay. Good.
Oh, I thought you
Y'all-
were talking about me and Bob.
Oh, y'all? Oh, I didn't mean. Excuse me. Deverick, I'll excuse everybody except me and Deverick. Anyway, you wouldn't want to stay one more year, would you? I don't guess. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Just bear down, stick to it, do what you want to do to be best for you, and don't give up till you get to where you want to be, okay? Stay with it. You'll get there.
That'll work.
All right. Good luck.
I appreciate it, Mr. President. I do want to brag on y'all guys. Y'all have been really attentive today. Hadn't heard no noise out of you. Y'all really listened. I hope y'all have learned a lot here today. And we do want to thank Jack's and Alabama City today. They're the one that furnished the biscuits and the sausage for us. And Cochran's Bakery over on Albert Raines, they're the ones that gave the donuts. They do it every year for us. I appreciate those guys and appreciate all y'all coming. Hope you have a fun afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also would like to congratulate all the high school seniors who are here today and wish you well. It's good to see you participate in this great day, Student Government Day. And I noticed that several of them, took the advice that we gave them this morning, that is to ask questions, ask lots of questions, and we did have some questions asked up in the conference room prior to a pre-council meeting. So don't forget to ask questions. When there's something that you don't fully understand, or something you have a question in your mind, don't be afraid to ask questions about it. Step up and ask questions, because the worst thing in the world is to walk away from a situation, that you've been involved in, and you have a question, but you were afraid or you didn't want to ask that question. Now you don't know what you need to know about that situation, so ask questions. And I wish you all success in your future endeavors. Gadsden City High School has some wonderful opportunities out there for trade, for occupational training. So, and those of you who are going off to college, just do well, and we will see you in the future back here in Gadsden. The next thing I want to say that, the Patriots Association golf tournament was fun yesterday for those that played. We looked for Ben, all over the golf course. We couldn't find him, so we figured he'd driven off in the woods over there somewhere. And waited until the tournament was over, and then drove on in and posted a score that we don't know where it came from. But we had fun.
I really appreciate your confidence.
Oh, absolutely. Got all the confidence in the world, and all the confidence. But it was fun, and the Patriots really appreciate you supporting the organization like that. And I assure you that those funds that are raised by this organization, by that organization, will be used dutifully, to give homage to those patriots those persons deemed patriots in the city of Gadsden, or Etowah County. And the next thing is the Miller Heights Improvement Association will meet on Monday night, next Monday night, the 30th, at New Hope Baptist Church on Miller Avenue. We're encouraging all the residents on Miller and Lincoln Heights to be there for that meeting. They're going to discuss an important topic that you will want to be involved in. The city will be represented there. City officials will be there at that meeting to get input from you on a very, very important topic. Thank you.
Bill?
I just want to echo, we certainly thrilled to have you young people here today, the seniors from our city high school. I hope you learned something about city government, and like Billy said, if you have a question about something, ask it. We hope we've informed you on how our city government works. How many of you are, I don't know, all of you raised your hand, you're 18, most of you. How many are registered voters?
Good question.
Come on.
You mean you should be?
I'm in the 18. It might be something that's not 18. Might be something that's not 18.
There's probably a lot of them that
There's a
are.
few, most of them raised their hand that said they were 18 years old.
No, they said they
There's a
were.
lot of them.
How many
that
is 18? See, it wasn't
Okay.
that many, yeah.
We got a few that's not registered,
Yeah.
so go register, vote, take part in your
Yeah.
city government.
Thank
I
you.
think that's.
Again, I say welcome, and we've certainly enjoyed being with you. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do want to recognize Ms. Katie and on another job well done. We appreciate it. Let's give her a hand. She does. You can tell by the applause. She does an outstanding job with these young people, and they appreciate it, and we definitely appreciate it. So thanks once again. Do want to recognize Chelsea James out there. You're getting to be old hat at council meetings, so we appreciate you coming out again. Again, just thanks to all of you. As Councilman Harris mentioned earlier, you guys were very, very tuned in, and that's always important because, as you can tell, we have a lot of information to share, and it's just always meaningful for us if the young people appear to be tuned into it. So we appreciate it. A lot of good questions were asked upstairs. So I'll have a good report for you when I talk to your father later. I'll definitely have a good report. I didn't want to embarrass her, so I'll just I'll leave that name anonymous. But we're excited about what lies ahead for the city of Gadsden and the future. You oftentimes hear me talk about our pipeline and there not being enough young people in the pipeline for political office and leadership. So I'm encouraged when I see this kind of turnout. So again, keep up the good work. Just a couple of other things. My District 2 meeting for this month will be at the East Gadsden Community Center on Thursday, on this Thursday at 6 p.m. And again, this will be the District 2 meeting for this month, Thursday at the East Gadsden Community Center. Do want to send out a special appeal to the Chief Crane is going to be there to support us. Do want to send out a special appeal to the folks those folks that live on Lay Street. We've had some traffic issues on Lay Street that he's going to be able to speak to there. So I do want to send out a special appeal to those folks to come out and attend that meeting. And lastly, do we have anyone here who's on the Berry Center? Is the Crawfish Boil, is that the event, one of the fundraisers for the Berry Center? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It is? Okay, all right. So for that reason, and just for the pure fact that it's an awesome event, I attended last year for the first time, and the weather was great. If you have not taken the opportunity to go out and enjoy that boardwalk area, you're missing it. We have it's a wonderful, the city's done a great job in developing that area. It's right along the waterfront. I think last year's event coincided with the duck race. It coincided with the duck race, so I don't know if we'll have that luxury this year. But again, if you have not attended it, please do. You'll enjoy the food, you'll enjoy the environment, and it's just a good event each year. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, somebody said a few minutes ago, earlier today, that 25 years we've been having Youth in Government Day. For a long time. I think I've been around here all 25 of them. That's the other problem. Bob?
Missed 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I was here from the first 25 years ago when they started. Shane, didn't you participate?
I did in 95, I believe.
Right. The mayor's assistant participated in Youth in Government Day in 95, or somewhere during that time.
I was not happy, as I remember, with the city attorney at that point. He said something out of line when I wanted to do something.
Well, and now you his.
The youth city attorney, that's
Oh.
right, I'm sorry.
I thought you was talking about this one. I was gonna say that's why you're so hard on Roger now. You his boss, so you're hard on it. No. But we've had, I think, one city council member who participated in Youth in Government Day. So, you know, again, when I talked to y'all this morning, I was saying that I could see some future council members, mayors, and probably others, and that goes to show you that, you know, it is true. So we're just happy to have them here, and hopefully we're going to be seeing a lot out of our young people in the future participating in city government. And one last thing I want to talk about. We talked about it briefly, but and that was we had the resolution to deal with the cameras for the police officers. I know council members get calls constantly of situations we have involving our police department. We have a new chief, and I'm trying to give the new chief the benefit of the doubt and the time to deal with the issues down there. But we've got to change some attitudes in this city when it comes down to police officers interacting with the public. And one of the ways I felt that we could do that is by requiring all of those guys who go out there and come in contact with the public to have those cameras on and those recorders. Because, see, I get those calls. As a matter of fact, Sunday evening, I'm in my den in my easy chair, and I get someone coming knocking on my door because there's an incident where officers were very nasty to a grandmother and a mother who tried to find out what was happening to their children. And I get sick and tired of having to deal with those type of issues. If our police officers have cameras and recorders, then there won't be an issue as to who said what and who did what, because it's being recorded and it's being kept up with. And that's why, you know, Mayor, we want to deal with this. We want to make sure every officer, because it's for the protection of the officers as well as the protection of our citizens. And no money is too much for me as far as to spend to make sure that we protect our officers and we protect our citizens. We've just got too many things that are happening around this country. People don't have any confidence in government, law enforcement, the whole 9 yards. I think that would put all of that to rest if we can say, well, Miss So-and-so, it didn't happen that way, because we've got a recording, and that officer was within his rights. Or we can say, Miss So-and-so, based on that recording, the officer was not in his rights, or he didn't do whatever. That's why it's going to be important that we outfit every officer with those cameras, and I'm hoping that the mayor's committed to do so. Go ahead on the order. I think we've ordered, what, 27, however many? Okay, we're going to make sure that all officers, so everybody will know that when you come in contact with a police officer, you need to be careful too with your mouth, because it's going to be recorded on TV. There's a TV camera, not just a audio, but a audio and video camera that they're going to be having. So we'll know who's going to be telling the truth from this point forward. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that. That's all I have.
Mr. President, I would like to make an announcement, if I could, that I failed to make a while ago when I was speaking. You know, Gadsden is very fortunate to have a symphony orchestra in a town our size. Very few people have a symphony orchestra, and we have a fine one. We have, if you haven't heard them, tonight is their performance, and it's going to be a patriotic theme tonight at City Hall, at the Convention Hall. It starts at 6 o'clock, so I encourage everybody to come out. You'll hear some great music. The King of Swings will also be playing in the latter part of it, so come out and support your symphony orchestra, and you'll have a wonderful evening of patriotic music. That's all I have. Thank you.
Y'all will have to figure it out which one of these speeches was political and which one was not.
Mine was political. You don't have to figure it out. I'll let you know mine was.
Every one of them wants you vote. So,
I know if they don't live in my district. I'll be putting me in jail. One lady out here. Deborah.
I would hope that they would vote legally and not vote in your
That's
district. And I hope they don't vote for you.
We've been through that before, haven't we?
And the key issue is to vote. Okay, that's the main thing. Vote, whether you vote for Ben or Robert or me or whomever. The main thing is that you vote for
That's
someone.
exactly right. I want to announce a neighborhood watch meeting tonight at 5 p.m. at the Raymond Hill Center. That's down at your Brown School. Our new chief is going to be there. We'll have some other folks there, so everybody in the district or anybody else who's interested, we would appreciate to have you. If there's not anything else, I'll entertain a motion, we adjourn.
So moved.
This meeting's adjourned.